We kick off this video with a deer chasing a turkey through some tall weeds in the forest. Certainly something you would not expect to see on your trail camera. Yes, a deer chasing a turkey for no apparent reason. Obviously, this turkey must have done something that the deer did not like, because this deer is angry, and it's looking to take out its revenge on this bird. But the turkey is winning this race, but the deer is not too far behind, and perhaps that's what it is, just a race between these two animals. How hilarious would that be? By the looks of things, I've got my money on the turkey. Now we take a look at this very bizarre video of an unknown animal or creature or thing that is just sitting there in the tall weeds and grass, and I'm not really sure what it is. It has weird coloration on its hair or fur, and it's not really doing anything or moving. It's just sitting still, stationary. And obviously the person recording this has no idea what this animal is either, and they're not getting close enough to get a closer look, because maybe this thing poses a threat. Who knows? If you have any idea of what we could be looking at here, let me know down in the comments section below. Like I said, it just has weird coloration in its hair and in its fur. It's totally bizarre. It's really just one big blur. So what is this small, unidentified critter just sitting in the woods, if it's even alive at all? Could this be something that's not even an animal? Tell me what you think down below. Now here's something that certainly is alive. A video that was taken on a night vision camera of an animal with two sharp, pointy, tall ears and two glowing eyes. Well, eye shine, perhaps. These eyes are reflecting in a very creepy and ominous way. Really, what's more interesting is actually what this animal is. No one's been able to say. Again, what we can clearly see are the ears, and we can make out what seems to be a flat nose on the end of its face, like a flat snout. Could this just be a bear? It does have facial similarities to that of a bear, and we know that this thing is alive because it blinks. And to be honest, when I first saw this video, the ears kind of reminded me of like a donkey. By the reflection, this thing has some pretty small eyes. Either way, it's something I wouldn't want to run into in the dark. And how about this newly viral trail camera picture that was taken on the night of the 29th, back in July, so just a few nights ago, in the state of North Carolina. It's brand new, just released on the internet, and has immediately went viral. It depicts an unknown, unidentified, hairy, dark-furred creature standing in front of a trail camera about 10 feet away. It seems to be looking down at the ground. Its head is not very visible, and it has its back towards the camera. All we can see is that it's on 2 feet. It is certainly bipedal, and it looks different than any black bear I've ever seen, although that would be the next thing that it could possibly be, considering this picture was taken in black bear country, North Carolina. And we do know that sometimes black bears do get on their back hind legs, so they can be bipedal at times. And maybe perhaps that's what we're seeing here, but it just looks different in a way that I cannot quite describe. Not to mention that its hind legs look weird. I mean, also its feet seem to be bigger than a bear's back paws would be. And it also has a weird joint in the back of its leg. Or perhaps that's the heel of its foot and it's tippy-toeing around. So is this creature on its tippy toes walking around bipedally and it's not a bear? Or is this just a black bear? Let me know what you think down in the comments section below. Either way, it's one creepy picture. It did remind me of one picture that I shared on the channel a little while back. Now we can't see the head on this creature, and in this picture that I was reminded of, you can't see its head either. Here's a side-by-side comparison. It seems that this creature is almost identical, just a little bit closer to the camera. Again, no head visible. It's as if it has its head pointed straight down towards the ground. And something I will also say about this picture is that its hair looks pretty feral and wild. I mean, most of the time when we see pictures like this, the hair looks like it's been done by a stylist. I mean, it looks perfect, pretty. But here, we can tell this is one wild animal. Its hair looks rough, its fur has little missing patches, and just generally it looks like it's been through quite a bit. It almost has a mangy look to it, if you will. And that's what we see in this picture as well. We're seeing the back of an unknown bipedal creature, we're assuming. We're only seeing the top half of its body. And it also looks similar hair-wise. There's these missing patches of fur or hair on the back. And this picture, I will say, looks pretty darn realistic. This one has been circulating on the internet for about 12 years now. And it's one heck of a picture. Its head almost looks sunken, way below its shoulders, and that seems to be a common theme for what we're seeing. Perhaps that's why we're not seeing their heads, because they're sunken a little bit further in behind their shoulders. That would seem to be a pretty plausible explanation. Now check out this beautiful picture that was taken on a trail camera of a buck, a skunk, a raccoon, and a possum. Now these four animals likely didn't congregate in front of this trail camera all at the same time. This is a composite image, but it's one beautiful picture depicting all walks of wildlife. I'm just imagining how amazing it would be to come up on all four of these animals next to each other out in the woods. I mean, how would you even react if you saw that? Recently, someone posted this picture that was taken on a trail camera at night of a face with an ominous eye peering into the camera lens. The eye almost has a vertical pupil, kind of like a reptile or cat would. That's something that I immediately noticed. But the rest of its face is just all one big blur. Not much detail to be seen. So the person who posted this naturally did not know what this was. What do you think this could be? Let me know down in the comments section below. It's one ominous picture. And how about this picture of a shaggy-haired creature, or more than one creature possibly standing pretty close to each other, out in an open field, caught on camera. And something I noticed is that on the very far left of the picture, there's a second creature that looks pretty similar in the color of its fur. Although the one in the center is super shaggy, its hair droops all the way down to the ground, and we can only partially see its face, kind of like a nose and maybe an eye. It's hard to even make out what we're looking at here. Could this be more than one creature? Possibly. If it's just one though, it's pretty bulky, or perhaps it's covered in trees, twigs, dirt, mud, something to make it appear larger than it actually is. If that's the case, then it would definitely suggest it's intelligent. What kind of strange cryptid do you think you're seeing here? And here's a creature that's almost as bulky as the one that we just looked at. Although this one's a little more clear-cut. We can see an arm with a large hand and two wide legs as it walks past the camera. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to say that this picture is fake. It just has a fake look to me, and honestly this looks like someone in a costume. The hair doesn't look very natural in my opinion, and the limbs look just kind of cartoonishly large. Someone posted this trail camera video to Reddit a little while back. It was from a friend's trail camera on a ranch, private property. Obviously this camera was to help identify potential trespassers, but I'm pretty sure this kind of trespasser wasn't on the bingo card. This person is practically jogging past the camera. They look extremely skinny and tall, and their behavior is just downright weird. Strangely enough, it looks like they're wearing some kind of skirt or shorts. Their arms are pretty small and their legs are too. In fact, their neck and head is also almost alienish. I'm starting to wonder if this is even a real person. Perhaps it's someone playing a prank on the owner of this ranch. But whoever it was seems to be on a mission by the way they're walking. And remember those creatures that we were talking about earlier that look like their heads are sunken in under their shoulders? Well, what about if they turned around and we could see their face? Well, that's what happened in this instance. We can see the face of one of these creatures. Now, I'm not saying this picture is real because it definitely looks pretty fake, but let's just theorize. If this is a real picture, could this be what their faces actually look like? It has a pretty large, wide nose and very prominent facial features, like its brow ridge protruding further out. It has a lack of hair on its face as well. But how about this creature that's walking past a trail camera to the background of a snowy landscape? What we see is something that's not traditional. This isn't like your regular cryptid. It has some canine teeth that are apparent. Its eyes have a yellow-orangish hue. Its eyes are actually generally small as well, kind of similar to the creature that had reflecting eyes back in the first night vision video. Could this be the same creature? It definitely has a canine look to it, but also human. Let me know what you think about this picture down in the comments section below. And with that being said, that's going to wrap up things for this week's episode of Encountering Wildlife. If you want to contact us or send something in like a trail camera capture of your own, just send it to the email that's on your screen right now. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to tune in to next week's.